Hey, y'all, come on in. Good evening. Good evening. How are you doing? Outside. I was working on the balcony. Got this far. Mm-hmm. That's how far I got. Got that over in the corner. I don't have a lot of decoration to put out here. This is going to be the table. It's going to have the little Christmas tree in the middle. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, did it light up when I had the lights out? I don't know. Let me see. Let me see. Interesting. No, it didn't. Oh, yes, it is. You can barely see the little lights in it, though. Oh, well. So, I only trying to let you see, but it's messing up. I'm in these concrete walls out here on this balcony, so I have to show it from the door. And I got two candy canes down there in the chair. Turn the light on. Then I'm gonna bring my stuff in. Tired. Yep. Put my stuff up. And then I'm gonna speak to everybody coming in. That's where I have been, y'all. Uh-huh. Over there. It's a little chilly. Y'all see I got the fireplace on? Yeah. Yeah, it's on. I don't know what it's on. 70, 74, that's gonna be too hot. No, you need to take that down, sister. Take it down. You taking it up. You take it down. Oh, Lord. Let me see. You need to turn some lights on. There we go. Go on down. Mess around and be on fire up in here. Okay. There we go. Okay, 73. We'll see what happens there, and then we might have to turn it off. I don't know. Okay, so let me speak to everybody coming in. Of course, one of my subscribers gave me another topic that she wanted to talk about tonight. So I was like, okay, let me go in here and let's talk about it. But first, let me speak to those who have already come in. Hey, Sting. Sherry is here. Respectfully yours. Hey, glad to see you in the chat tonight. Sunshine Chronicles. Don't do me. Welcome, welcome. Hey, respectfully yours. Hey, chat. She's speaking to y'all. Deborah Silver's in the building. Hey, Pierre, how are you? I am Michelle for Life is here. You are really decorating up for Baby Gator and myself as well. Baby Gator sitting over there on the sofa just chilling. That's what he doing. He been sitting there half the evening. He ain't moved. But I got all this stuff out the hall. It's gone, y'all. And I got the people to do the work order today to hang these pictures. They didn't tell me when, but you see that hall? It's gone. I took it on out of here today. I went and donated it like I told y'all I was gonna do. So Baby Gator ain't got no choice but to be big now. Ain't no more bassinet and all that. It went out of here today. Deborah. Hey, Lynette Miller. Everyone, and thank you for the December birthday celebration. I truly enjoyed the music. Well, thank you, Lynette. I had to take it down because YouTube was messing with me. Talking about I had to go and what they tell me, uh, put it on a playlist on the artist station. I'm like, I ain't fixing to do all that. I just deleted it. Forget y'all. Y'all want too much from me. I got you in there. Hey, Tajisti. How you doing? To just what is all of that there you got going on? I don't know. But anyway, y'all, let's get into this. I don't want to take all night. You know, I don't like to be out here forever. No. So let's get into it. We got enough people up in here. We got some that rung the doorbell, some that didn't. I done told y'all I ain't fooling with y'all about the doorbell no more. I'm gonna ring my bell when I get back in my bedroom and get it finished and I start doing lives in the bedroom. I'm gonna show y'all. Okay. So the subscriber tonight had put in a comment that she wanted to talk about the positive benefits of inspiring people. Now, that's not exactly what she said, but that's as close as I could remember, okay? And I didn't have time to go back and look it up and see what she said. Because I've been out and about. I've been doing things. I've been taking care of my MY business. Okay. So when we inspire others to lead by example and grow, we create a culture that values education, personal development, and continuous improvement. That is the benefit of inspiring people. To just is laughing, you need to laugh. Inspired people also reported higher levels of important psychological skills, including the belief in their own ability, self esteem, and optimism. Do you believe that? I do. The people who have inspired me had a higher intellectual level of the way they thought about things and the ability to explain it to me where it motivated me to want to get up and do something different. All right, Sunshine agrees. She says, absolutely. Hi, Knob Tiger, how are you? Come on in. The benefits of inspiring people, the one most important thing about inspiring people is it juvenates or it creates or it revives energy. Now I got a question for you about energy. Do you believe energy ever dies? Or do you believe that it transfers? I wait to just to say I motivate her. That's good. That's good to know. I would hate to think that I've been out here a year and I haven't motivated anybody or inspired anybody. And the channel is supposed to be about inspiration, motivation, education, and humor. Well, that's good to know. Energy never dies. You are absolutely correct. Mm-mm. It just moves on, it transfers, goes somewhere else. They encourage everyone around them to dream bigger, to push harder. The inspiring people and lead a more fulfilling or productive life. And that's what I try to do every day. When I come out here with a message, I want it to inspire you to do just that. Dream bigger, push harder, and lead a more fulfilling life. You can come out here and stay on YouTube all day because I've done it. I wasn't inspired. I wasn't motivated to do anything. All I did was learn something about somebody else's life, whether I didn't know whether it was true or not true. It was their opinion and they said it. Okay? That's why I didn't start my channel off like that, because no matter who came or went, I wanted them to get something from the message. And if I only inspired 3 people tonight, one person tonight, that's better than none at all. They encourage everyone around them to dream bigger, push harder. Now, I've heard a content creator out here always telling people that she goes hard. When things are down and she's out, she goes hard. That was Treese. That was something I got from her when I first started watching her doing all those skits. She was going hard at it and it worked for her. Yep. Okay. So let's see if y'all said, hey, I'm a whole vibe. How you doing? Thank you for the roses. Thank you for coming into the chat. It transfers. I agree, Sting. Yes. Okay. So being inspirational is important because it gives both the means and the motivation to rise above. Who wants to stay in the gutter? Who wants to stay down low? Who wants to really be there if they're there? You don't really want to be down there and you see other people not there and how they're living and how they're doing better. You want to do that too, in all honesty, if you're being real with yourself. If I had fallen flat on my face, ain't no way I'm going to stay down there. Because that's not the life I want to live, then or now. I'm going to figure out how I'm going to get myself up, dust myself off, and move on. Nobody's going to hold me down. They're not going to stand there. I'm going to let them stand there, and I'm going to figure out how I'm going to slide right from under your foot. I'm gone. Okay? Because neither one of us are moving. If you standing there holding me down, you ain't moving either. Think about it. How can you move when you holding me? You can't. It's just, that's the way it is. I don't know no other way to explain it to you. We should all be learning from each other, being creative, and growing closer to your goals. We've talked about goals over here. If you learn from others, an achievement will happen. I learn from y'all every night that I come into my chatter every morning. Whenever I come out here, I learn something from somebody that I did not know. If I don't quite understand it, I ask questions. You'll never understand anything if you are sitting there. Imagine in the classroom, when you were back in the classroom and you didn't raise your hand when you didn't understand something. You missed that on the test because you never really understood it from the beginning. People should be interested in people who are inspiring. I'm really not interested in nobody who does not inspire me, because the inspiration should bring out the creativity in a whole new way. A good example is that penny table y'all see over there. That penny table, once I brought it out here and I showed that penny table, it inspired someone else to want to try it, to want to do it. They liked it. They saw how simple it really was. Go to the bank, get you some pennies, pick out the good ones, get you some good glue. Make sure your tabletop is flat. It doesn't have a bunch of grooves and stuff in it. Fill it up with wood putty if you have to. Paint it, because you're going to see the tabletop between the cracks of the pennies. And that's the way it happened. Now, several people have come out here and told me that this one is going to do a penny table. That one is going to do a penny table. And like I told them this morning, that's just something that came to my mind because I didn't want to throw away the table. But you can do a nickel table. You can do a dime table. I chose the pennies, like I told y'all, because I have a lot of gold. The copper looked better with the gold than the silver. Okay? Have it your way. Just being around this person and absorbing what they are saying has the potential to set off something deep inside of another person. And it propels them to take action on something they were afraid to start. It's a lot of things you probably have in your mind you would like to achieve, but you don't know how to go about achieving it. So what do? You kind of just let it hang there in the balance. You don't really attack it. I'm different. I like challenges. I love for somebody to tell me what I can't do. I'm not vocal about it. I show them. Example, I built a 5,000 square foot house in Texas City that I've shown y'all on my live at the age of 28 years old. You don't think that was a hell of a challenge? Moved out of the first home after being in there 4 years and took that challenge on and accomplished that mission. And the house is still standing today. And it was built in 1986. I was way ahead of myself on that house. Yeah. It's like, it reminds me of some music that just never goes out of style. Frankie Beverly. Hadn't made a record in years, but it stands the test of time. That's what I'm talking about. Sting says, exactly, Ms.V. I fell, but I got back up bigger and better than. Thank you, Jesus. Exactly. You should learn from your mistakes. Don't let one mistake cause you to make another mistake. learn from that mistake, and then pass it on to the ones behind you. People, like I always tell y'all, if I hit a brick wall, I ain't trying to come out here and make y'all hit that same brick wall. Why should I want you to feel my pain? No, I'm telling you, don't do it. Now, if you go on and you do it on your own, hey, that ain't on me. That's on you. I told you if you hit that brick wall, it was going to hurt. You were going to crash. You were going to fall. You were going to break. But if you choose to want to do it, that's on you. Sometimes people have to see things for themselves. They don't believe lightning strikes. They don't believe thunder roars. Let them see. If they want to challenge you, let them go. That's what I have learned growing old. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I'm not going back and forth with you. When enough is enough and you need to stop, you need to know when it's time to quit. Don't say, I'm not going to do this no more, and you go on do it, and then come back with that same old tune again, because I'm not trying to hear it. I'm just telling you. You said you was going to stop, then stop. There's no reason for you to come back again. Just stop. Let's see, where am I? Pearlie came in the building. Good evening, Pearlie. How are you doing? Hey, Shatika. Not Tagger. When entertainment becomes a nuisance, then how can they motivate anyone? They're not motivating anyone. It's like-minded people who are just as low self-esteem and down in the gutter with them. They can appreciate it because they're on the same page. That person hasn't inspired them any to move past them because they don't want them to. They want them, their mind, their body, and their soul to be right there with them. I inspire anybody on my channel to do better than me. I tell my daughter that. I don't want you to just achieve what I have achieved. I want you to do better than me. I think every generation now that we're living in a computer age should be smarter and smarter. You don't have to go to no dictionary anymore. You don't have to go to an encyclopedia. You don't have to go to the library. It's in your hand 24/7, your cell phone. Google it. Google ain't always right. Look at 2 or 3 references. Okay? It's just that simple now. So why shouldn't a kid be smart unless they have some challenges? Special needs, something of that nature. There's no way. Our parents used to tell us when we were growing up, I don't expect for you to bring anything home less than a B. You don't have a job. You ain't got nothing to do. You don't have no house chores. I told you the lady that had gone to the asylum, when her husband jilted her at the altar, my grandmother hired her when she came back, and she did all the housework. I learned how to clean a house and do things from her. My mother was working. She was a post-school teacher from 7 o'clock in the morning to 3:15 in the evening, then might have bus duty, so we would get home at 4:30, 5 o'clock, sometimes 6 if she had some stops to make. My father was a dirt farmer. He worked from sun up to sundown, planting. That is his thing. That's how he made his living and did quite well with it. One of the biggest farmers in Northeast Louisiana, black or white. So you can take anything. He took the dust of the earth and made a living off of it. And we didn't go without anything. Nothing. Because that's who he was. He was going to take care of his wife and his children, and did. He didn't want us to make the mistake he didn't make. I've told y'all that before. He chose not to go to college, and that he always said until he left here, that was the biggest mistake he ever made. But he had the land that he had inherited from his father, and he took it and he made something of it. And that's what we were taught. You don't have to have the best. You don't have to buy the best. Work with what you got, is what my mom always told me. Haven't y'all seen me work with what I have? Haven't y'all seen me take a little and make something of it? Yeah, I do it all the time. Let's see. Where am I in the chat? Shatika, the gospel song, I fall, but I get up. That's it, Shatika. You can fall and lay there, or you have a choice. We've talked about choices in life. You don't have to stay there. It's what you choose to do. People go to prison all the time. They can come out better and motivate somebody out. A good example, Judge Mathis. Yeah. He didn't let prison stop him from becoming a judge. Great example right there. Tracy Davis is in the building. Yes, our father used to teach how to hammer a nail on wood, no matter how many times we hit our fingers, but we got it done. And you learn too how to use that hammer to stop hitting your fingers too, I bet, Tracy. If you do it over enough and it hurt long enough and hard enough, you're going to learn how to use that hammer and back them fingers up. Put some gloves on. You're going to do what you got to do. You will. It's no different than me sewing and sticking my finger with the needle. All of a sudden last night I went over there and found a thimble. I was tired of that needle hit me in my hand. You got choices in life. Use them. My dad hauled pulpwood. Okay, he made a living. Don't matter what you did. And people back in the day, they were not as educated as the men are in this time. So they did what they had to do. But if you notice, that woman was at home with the children. They took care of their families, no matter how bad they got along, no matter what. If they stayed with that woman, they took care of them and them children. They didn't go hungry and they didn't go without. Wasn't sorry men back there. They were real men back there. They wasn't scared to go to work. Thank you, Jules. I appreciate that. And good evening to you. Sorry, Chess and Ms.V. Hello, my lovely family. It's been a while. Yes, Tracy, and welcome back. Glad you're here. Happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas is coming. Wish you and your family a Merry Christmas. Not Taggart. Toxic people will negatively will show in their actions. The devil plots, but God's plan will prevail victoriously. Love conquers. I guess this was, I don't know what that last word was. It's like you were typing and the whole word didn't come out. Love conquers all to me. Love does. The greatest gift God ever left here was love, and it's free. But why is it so hard for people to love? Because you let Satan, you let the demon in you come out of you instead of letting the God in you come out in you. Yep. And then when he speaks to you, when Satan speaks to you, he gonna tell you all the ungodly things to do. You got a choice there of who to serve. Some people choose to misinterpretation. Okay, not Tiger. People choose to serve who they want to serve. Ain't nothing good gonna come from being ungodly, and everything about it ain't nothing about it clean. Nope. I would rather be condemned by the devil than the Satans of the world, trying to make it in and trying to do the right thing and trying not to treat people any kind of way. No. Now you can do it and you can keep on, but I'm not gonna do that. Okay? Let Satan use and instead of God. Yeah, they let Satan use them. They do. They don't know the difference because they really don't have a true understanding of God. They've been through the church house. You hear it when they are out here talking and doing all the stuff they doing. But they're not really serving him because what did they say before they went to God? I'm just saying. You look at it yourself and then you discern what you get out of it, okay? People should be interested in people who are inspiring. It brings out the creativity in a whole new light. Remember that, okay? When you're looking at TV, when you're looking at social media, whatever, ask yourself, is this person inspiring me? Are they motivating me? Are they making me a better person? Or am I just getting into what they're going through, and it's really not doing anything for me? I just wasted my time. That's what I always try to see out here on social media. Are you wasting my time? What does that have to do with me? When I'm watching a TV program, that's why you have different channels. You can pick up the remote control and you can switch. It's no different than social media. It's just real live people that you come to know out here virtually. That's the only difference in TV and social media. You can switch channels on both of them. Click in, click out. Where am I? Shatika. Amen. This is helping me. Everyone needs inspiration. Satan the get thee behind me in the name of Jesus. God first. Positive things, positive people. You got to. It's too much going on in the world today. I got a short, brief moment to watch Shannon the Truth today. And she had a very good live talking about them putting in safety in the schools where it's detecting weapons as well as contraband. And I thought, my God, aren't they about 20 years behind? We in the United States, I'm just not talking about the state of Florida where she lives. We are so far behind. How long have these people been going into schools and attacking people and killing people? And you just not decided to start doing something about it. And if I'm not mistaken, I think she said it was the first county in Florida to do something like that. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole live, but I saw enough to know that at least they are trying to do something to protect the people in the school. When you send your child off to school, you expect for them to come home. You as a teacher, if you go off in there, you expect to go in there and teach and come home to your family. Well, we all know in the past, a lot of people didn't make it back home. They left that morning and never returned. Inspiration is an adjective. So something or someone has inspired you. It should be exciting. And it should make you feel strongly interested and enthusiastic. Once you are inspired, that's what you should get from it. Okay? So, do you think that inspiration or inspiring is a skill? What do y'all think? Um, hey Denise, how you doing? Yeah, that's real sad, Jules. We've gone through uh probably two generations of kids who probably would have been, we don't know what they would have been because they're not here. I'm gonna put it that way. And that is very, very sad. And teachers who didn't come home to their families. It's pitiful. Hi, highly favored. How you doing? Happy holidays. Welcome to Chatting with Ms.V. Thank you, Yo-Yo, for coming in on for me. Denise, blessed. Okay. We all are blessed. We're alive in our right mind. We're able to come out here and speak, write, walk, talk, chew gum at the same time. Yeah, you very blessed if you can do that. It's many people living in hospitals tonight, laying up there, can't do none of that. And they were doing it yesterday, or they may have been doing it this morning, but they're not doing it now. Y'all, let's keep Granny K's daughter-in-law in prayer also. She wrote me today and said that her daughter-in-law was on life support. Please pray for her. She lost her son last year. And this year she has her grandkids. And that's why she has not been coming into the chat, because she's taking care of her grandkids and her daughter-in-law as much as she can. And that's an awful situation for her to be in at this time of year. We just got through talking about everybody is not in a joyous, happy mood. So please keep Granny K in your prayers. Let me see. Yep, keep gabbing that hot, oh, grabbing that hot skillet. You learn real quick. No shucks, no shucks. Okay, I almost said no. All right, I had to catch myself because yeah, especially them cast irons and a lot of the cookware they making now, it's not heat resistant. The handles aren't, and I don't understand why some of them haven't figured out that we're human. We forget. We get in a hurry. We don't always have time, or we don't always remember to grab the placemat. And we make mistakes sometimes and come out with a burnt hand. Mm-hmm. And you would think if you were making the cookware, you would think of stuff like that. If it's got a handle, the person got to catch the handle. Maybe they don't have nothing to catch it with. Sometimes you catch it, and if you have a gas stove and it's got flame up there, you start a fire. The dish towel, the pothole, the whatever catches on fire. Then you got to put it out. Yeah, I just don't think people think. If I was making cookware, that would be one of the things I'd be thinking about. People gonna burn their hands, so let me make sure that this handle is not gonna get hot. Tracy says, we are blessed here in Ohio. Ben had the security and protected security walk through. That's great, Tracy. Here at the schools that I've been going in, my badge lets me in. And if you don't have a badge, then you can't come in. And I think that's pretty good because you got to get into the school. And I would think it was probably be the same thing. Now, you may differ in your opinion with this, but once they in there, even with the metal detector, who's there to stop them with the metal detector? If they don't have law enforcement there at the doors, they still can come in. And the classrooms are very close to the doors at the schools I go in. So at least they put up some safety precautions or mechanisms, Tracy. Okay, I hope Bob is praying. Thank you. I appreciate that for Granny K. Shatika, that's why so many are homeschooling their children. Schools aren't what they used to be. They're not safe anymore. They're not preparing wholesome meals like schools we went to back in the day gave you the food groups that you needed to nourish your body and nourish your brain. All this sugar in the morning. I asked the kids, what y'all having for breakfast? Oh, we having donuts and orange juice. Oh my God. And you already a special needs kid on medication and you're already hyper. Some suffering with OCD and you're going to give them sugar. Oh, Lord Jesus. What about some protein? What about some eggs, some cheese, some sausage, some bacon, some kind of protein in the morning? Give them some grits, give them some oatmeal, give them some toast. Don't be giving them all that sugar. That just irks me. And most of them eat breakfast at school. We're trying to get them there so they can have breakfast. But that's not a good breakfast to me. Denise, prayers up for Granny K and her family. I appreciate that, Denise. I was very saddened when she commented to me this evening off of the live I did this morning. She was telling me why she hadn't been in the chat. And I was very saddened to hear that. Highly favored prayers up. I appreciate you and Shatika, Tajisti, the real yo-yo. Only take one time for me to get burned. It's a wrap. That's it for you, huh, Jewel? You got it then, huh? Ain't no more mistakes. Girl, sometimes I've done it and not even thinking. Mine on too many different things, Jewel. Because I have like 3 or 4 things rolling through my mind at one time, and I have to stop myself and say, wait a minute, hold up. You need to do this first. I have to start taking priorities with stuff. Sting is agreeing with you. She said one time for her, Shatika, things these days are made pretty and don't last long. They don't nothing. Not your house. I went to the most beautiful house to pick up this kid with Miss Diane. And the house is cracking. And those houses were built just before I left to go to Baltimore. Let's say within the last 15 years. Why is that foundation cracking for that upper story? It's a 2-story house to be up there cracking. It's over the door upstairs. I showed it to Miss Diane. I said, look at that house, how it's cracking. It'll never last until they get that foundation fixed. It's just cars are not the same. Look how my car was hit, and it just towed the front and the side up. But yet she was in an older car, and it was the reflector on hers and the bumper. That's it. They're not making nothing, but the price went up. Have you noticed that? It's not as good. It won't last as long, but you're paying more for it. Y'all remember prayers in school? I do loved it. Yes, Shatika, we had the Pledge of Allegiance and the prayer every morning, and then we sung a little song, and then we started to work. See, Jesus and God, they were back in the classroom then. What happened when they went out of the classroom? All this stuff got started. And then this, am I right or am I wrong? When we were in the classroom and we said a little prayer every morning, and we said a little prayer, pledge, and sung that little song, we had smooth days. Everybody got along. Every now and then you might have somebody fighting. And the next day they was back together again. It wasn't forever fights. Because they got the butt toe up in the office, and then the note went to the parents, and the parents tore them up. They wasn't gonna do that no more. Prayers for Granny K. Thank you, Pearlie. They are cookie cutter homes. I told a friend that who bought one of them cookie cutter homes. They bring in X amount of material for that subdivision, and they use it from house to house until they finish those projects. And every other house looks the same, maybe a different color brick, but they only have like 4 or 5 designs in that subdivision. Now, I don't want no house look like nobody else's house. I'm just that way. I'm built different. I don't want, if you got it, I may love it, but I don't want the exact same thing as you. I got a mind. Can I create something to go along with mine that makes it different from yours? That's all. I want somebody to make the penny table and show me that penny table, but be more creative than me. I inspired you. Now you motivate me to want to do something more to my table when I see your table. That's how I think. That's how I roll. I'm not jealous at all. You just inspired me to do better. That's it. Yes, kids and parents change. Yeah, it's the 80s when things changed. After the Vietnam War, which ended, and my generation started having children, we messed these kids up. I take full responsibility for giving mine too much. She felt like that was the norm. I tried to give her everything that I didn't have growing up. And I wasn't missing anything that I needed. It was the things that I wanted that I didn't always get. I always had a roof over my head. I always had some kind of car out there to drive. I always had food on the table. Food was never rationed in the home. There was always more than enough food. You always had clothes in the closet. My mother was a fashionetta back in her day. So you were gonna have clothes. We were going shopping on Saturday. She was gonna get clothes. But another thing she would do, she would also take clothes out of my closet if she went back to school and one of her kids came to school and they were raggedy or the stuff was too little and they could fit in my clothes. It would make me so mad sometimes, but I knew better than to say anything. I'm gonna take this out of your closet. I'll get you something else when I get paid. One of my children, one of my students need this. And I have a lot of her ways. A lot of her ways. Yep. Sting, it used to take a long time to build one house. Now they're throwing them up subdivisions overnight. Exactly. Because you did stud for stud after you did the foundation. Now they'll put they will put it together on the ground and take the whole wall up at one time. I don't know if you've noticed how builders build, but that's what they're doing. Especially if it's a concrete wall, that whole wall going up at one time. I watched them do the new bus barn over there at the school. It was dried in so fast it made my eyes blink. And it has taken them longer in the inside because now they have a hard time getting labor because there's so much construction going on in Houston. So if they can get a job making $2 more somewhere else, they leave. They gone. So just trying to get people to come in and finish the inside of it. Now they're saying we were supposed to move in January when we go back January the 8th. Now they're saying it's probably going to be February because of construction help they need. Right, says Jewel. Miss Mary, how you doing? Welcome to Chatting with Ms.V tonight. We're over here talking about inspiration and motivation. So I think the last thing I was telling y'all, so is inspiration a skill? What do y'all think? Sting says, exactly, the partially put together when you get them. Exactly. And, you know, if you don't know anything about building, if you've never, all you doing, when you go in there and you look at the model homes, you just see how pretty them model homes. No, look at the house you're going to buy empty. Check out your flooring. Check out your walls. Check out the bricks. Have somebody look at the roof. Walk around that foundation. Because it ain't going to take it long to crack if it's not put down there right. You know, make sure that house is inspected. You can't trust them either. The inspectors, the builders and them inspectors, they got a thing going on. You better have somebody who knows something. You know, just go up in there thinking, oh, well, this, it's not. See, if it's in a floodplain, you know, in this area, we have to look and make sure those houses haven't flooded out. Because if it flooded once or twice, it'll flood again. If the water come up high enough. Okay, let's see. Let me go back up. Shatika, these kids these days have a sense of materialism. Wait a minute, it jumped on me. Materialistic entitlement. Exactly, they do. Instead of the essentials, a home, people who love you, providing for you, food, shelter, and clothes. What we had, that is what we had. Now, you know, they think they have to wear the most expensive tennis shoe. You standing out there in line like a big dummy from 2 o'clock in the morning to the store open, sitting in a lawn chair. I ain't never seen nothing like it. You got to buy all these games and stuff to keep them occupied. How about sitting them out there in the backyard? Because you can't let them play outside no more because these people are dangerous out here. They'll take your children. But they can go in a fenced backyard and play. And it don't cost nothing. And they wouldn't be so fat and out of shape. These kids are so sickly now compared to us. They're not eating right. They're not getting enough exercise. You're already breathing toxic air once you hit the world. I just don't know. We got to be in our last days because it ain't going to be able to happen too much longer. Sting say, no, it's not a skill. It's something that you have it or you don't. It's a learned behavior, Sting. It's not a skill. You are exactly right. You can learn, you can work, or you can grow into it. That's just the way it is. Okay? Someone who inspires you may be called a mentor. You've heard that. A role model, a motivator, an inspirer, or an influencer. You've heard all those terms. Those terms should be people who inspire you. Okay? So the ability to inspire is one of the single most important leadership skills that separates great leaders from an average one. Think back to all of your great leaders that you consider a great leader. Something set them apart from average people, and they were able to lead people in a different direction, which was much more beneficial than the average person out there. You're not a great leader if nobody is gaining anything from what you're saying. They're not doing any better. They still sitting there just listening, but I don't see them growing. I don't see them doing any better. Do you get what I'm saying? The more I look into it, it makes me not want to become a homeowner to many responsibilities. It has its advantages and it has its disadvantages, Jewel. I've owned many homes before, and I've lived in apartments before. The advantages of owning a home when I was younger was I was building wealth within that home, equity. So when I got ready for a resale, my first home cost me $70,000. I was 25 years old. That was in 1978. Okay. I turned around in 4 years. I sold that home for 100, and I think it was 10,000. So I built wealth in 4 years off that home to get me to the next home, which was the one I built from the ground up, which was 5,000 square feet. So that's an advantage. You are a taxpayer, so it does help you somewhat on your income taxes. You have a write-off there. If you have children, they have a home where they have a yard, hopefully a fenced backyard where they can play in. They have a garage they can open up and sit out there. They have more space where they have a game room or recreational room or a great room or some room where they can gather together and y'all can be separated, especially if it's a 2-story or a big single story. Uh, that's really the most important advantages I see. Okay. The disadvantages are if you don't pay that note, it becomes the bank or the mortgage companies. Okay. It's not like an apartment where you can get behind for a couple of months before they evict you. It's going to take, at least they got to do all the paperwork and all that other stuff. Okay. And you can move from one to another. You don't have no responsibilities when you live in there. You pay a note and it's done. You just pick up the phone and call them. My light don't come on. My commode stopped up. That's the advantages of an apartment. The disadvantages is you are never going to get any money back out of what you're paying for it. It's gone. Every month when you pay it. There's no equity. There's no write-off. There's none of that. That's the disadvantages. Other than that, you can get the same thing and you're going to pay more. If you live in apartment units, condos, townhouses, whatever, and you lease or rent, you're going to pay more than if you own that house. I owned a rental property back in the 80s and 90s. I charged twice to 2 to 3 times more than my note was because I had to cover the insurance on the house. That was my responsibility as the owner of the rent house. I also had to pay taxes on that house. So I couldn't just accept the note on the house. You see what I'm saying? But that same house, if they were buying it, they would have just been paying the note on it. And then whatever taxes or insurance it was. But they would be owning it, buying it to own. You see the difference? So if my note back then, I think one of them was like $500. I was charging $1,200 because I had to get that the note paid, The insurance paid every month, and the taxes paid at the end of the year. And then make a little something off of it. And then you got the upkeep if you a renter owner. If you own the rental property. Things break, they gonna call you to fix them. My window broke. My driveway. My door. My faucet. My commode. You gotta take into consideration all of that. A good write-off at the end of the year. But you got to get to that end of the year and get all that stuff fixed. They paying you, so when they call you, they want it fixed. Just like here. If I come in here, something is broken, I call them. I expect for them to do a work order and let me know when they're coming. That's what I see as advantages and disadvantages. A home is built on a solid foundation. Exactly. She said a home. Notice she did not say a house. There is a difference in a home and a house. A house is just a building that stands there. There's nobody in it. A home is when you walk through the door and you actually occupy that space in that house. There's a difference. Real spill, my sister regrets buying her home. You got to be really careful these days because everything is super fast. It's not like back in the day where they took a hammer and it took them a long time because they built it by hand. Most of this stuff is put up by machines now. And they just shooting shingles on. Bam, 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 bam. And all you hear is a staple gun going. Whereas before they put nails in it. Them shingles last longer too. You could get a 30-year shingle that would last 40 years back in the day. They might not have put a shingle on there but one time. These shingles now, look at these houses. After about 10 years, they already turning up. And they call themselves putting 20 and 30-year shingles on there. You got to be careful. Now, Tiger, yeah, that's when these so-called privileged people will, my child is this and that should have been a choice for parents, but wasn't supported by many. Exactly. I noticed something down at the school where my daughter went, where I'm working. She graduated from that same high school in 1999. And they had uniforms back then. I could go get 5 uniforms. She had one for every day in the week. I could wash them on the weekend and go on about my business. All I had to buy was tennis shoes or whatever shoes she was wearing, some socks, whatever. Get her hair done or do her hair. Now they wearing hoochie mama shorts down there. They let the parents control the school system. They wear midriffs. Why should a child in high school be walking in there with hoochie mama shorts on with male teachers and midriff shirts? That's too grown, too fast. You're not in college. You're in high school. I don't know. I don't understand it. The book of Psalms is inspiration. It's very inspiring, Shatika. And it's confident. It's very soothing when you go to Psalms. Yeah. And Proverbs, okay? Tracy, yes. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King for an example. You got it, Sting? They were leaders. They were able to take people out there with them who had the same ideas of freedom and what it feels like to be free. I can't imagine any of them waking up now and looking at what direction we've gone in. You out there getting tear gassed, beat up, thrown in jail for what? For us to come out here every day and attack each other like somebody done lost, like wild animals. It's unreal. You see, I don't see it like a lot of people because I didn't grow up in this 80s and 90s area. I was already grown. So my phone is getting ready to go out. I saw that much. It had 14%. Let me get this card. So it's hard for me to understand it When does it stop? How far does it have to go before it ends? Okay? Some things just best left alone. And know that there needs to be an ending point. You need to go on in a different direction, because if the people continue to follow you, you're never going to change. Then you get yourself in a pickle bottle where you can't get out of it, because that's what the people want to hear. That's the type of community you built. That's why I didn't ever want to go there in a reaction. No, that's not for me, because I get bored myself. I get real bored. Callie came for me and I did a few skits on her, but I got tired of that because I got tired of watching her. I don't have all day to sit up there and watch you to do those skits. I don't want to do that. At home is an investment, an apartment someone else's investment. You you couldn't have made it any simpler, Shatika. Hey, Manifest, how are you doing tonight? Pray that everyone is well. We have prayed for Granny K over here and send up prayers for Granny K. Her daughter-in-law is on life support, and she was telling me it's not looking very good. She has the grandkids and her son, who was the husband of the daughter-in-law, and the grandkids passed away last year. So keep Granny K in your prayers. She's a subscriber and member over here. And blessed husband been in the business for 41 years, school, prison, roadway, and highways. Okay, Tracy. Oh, I'm blessed, husband's been. Okay, you said in blessed. You meant I'm blessed. I got you. I got you. B. Smith, hello. How are you doing tonight? Your home looks so pretty. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I'm just speaking from personal experience. That's all I can speak on. And what little research I have time to do, Manifest. I don't have a whole lot of time in the day to research the topics like I used to when I used to come out here with different topics. So a lot of it, I have to speak on what I know and give you an example of it. Okay? Yes, ma'am, I understand. I couldn't buy a wash and dry outright. So I'm renting to own, have 1 year and a half, and it will be mine. You do what you got to do in certain circumstances. It beats going to the washateria. And if you don't have transportation, that makes it even harder. What you gonna do? Put them in the back seat of an Uber and then pay an arm and a leg? You could be paying a note on a wash and drive. You got to do all that. You got to make this stuff make sense for you. By the way, Sting, that car is gone. I knew it wouldn't last long. When Miss Diane and I passed by that Friday, I said, "Oh, Miss Diane, look, that car is gone. The one I was telling you about over at the Crowder's Funeral Home. Somebody got it, baby. That was a good price, and that car was clean." Okay, kid controlling the parents. That's what's happening, Jewel. They are in control. They're running the house. How you gonna let a kid tell you what to do when you the mama or you the daddy, and they ain't lived long enough to know enough to tell you nothing? I don't get that. The apartment came with a washer and dryer. They wanted $60 a month. I said, no, I'm not paying $60 for something I'll never own. For the washer and the dryer? So I leased to I ain't never heard of that thing. That's crazy. That's some new stuff there. I was already grown too, Ms.V. Yeah, exactly. Now, Tiger, that's what I was saying. Real kids are very convincing. That's why prayer should had stayed. Exactly. That's what you need to be teaching them. But how you gonna teach them something about prayer and the church and going to Sunday school, Bible study, or whatever when you ain't going? It's very few kids in the church anymore because the parents ain't there. And if you notice in a lot of churches, it's older people up in there. Them 20 and 30-year-olds, they ain't up in there. and they ain't bringing the kids. So you turning out a generation of, I don't know, it ain't gonna be good. They don't know nothing about the Lord. Nothing. Back in the days, community was social media. You right. Takes a village, church, schools, virtuous, modest teachings. Now people don't give a, you right. You got that right. Tagistic, real spill, I agree. The system made parents to be scared of their own children. So kids are out of control. Yeah, they'll call a law on you. I always told mine, it was in existence when she was coming up. You call them if you want to. You better take everything with you. Because you ain't coming back. If you bold enough to call them on me for me correcting you, take everything. Everything that you own up in here that I done bought for you, take it. And let them raise you. And see how you turn out. Okay? Because that's what's happening now. The system gets them and finish raising them when they go too far out here in the world. Not knowing no better. Not listening. Parents can't tell them nothing. You can't touch them. I'll be doggone. I'll pull your earlobe and go tell them that. Yeah, that's craziest thing you did right. Rent to own, says B. Generation of hoodlums. Exactly. Exactly, Ms.V. You right about that. Yeah. It's some crazy stuff going on that if you a logical person, it just don't make no sense. You know, you're not doing what's best for you. Okay, it's convenient. Okay, well, I'm just scrape up another $60. She made sense when she said, I'm not paying no $60 for something I ain't gonna never own. I have my own. That make more sense to me. Now, these people out here, they all about this being green now. And I'm not sure about this place here because I don't think it's gonna ever be full. Never. They ask for so much when you come here. I mean, you give up everything. They check you right, left, up, down, in between, every job, credit, everything to get up in here. You got to have twice the money the rent is. They got a lot of stipulations. And it's a lot. If I take y'all on that balcony, y'all see a lot of dark places because they're empty. On this hall, I found out on my side, it's two of us over here. That's why you ain't seen no decoration. There's one other person down on the other end. Yep. So I'm looking for a sellout or a new management or something to come in because they've been here now going on 2 years. And this place should have been filled up by now. But a lot of people can't meet those qualifications because they too steep. If you got any criminal history or background on there, you can't come up in here. It's a lot of older people and business people up in here. There's not a whole lot of young people. Most of them left after the summer. Their lease was up and they're gone. That's what I said. Keep grabbing what someone else is doing wrong and grabbing that skillet. That's what I meant. Not paying attention to one's agenda. Exactly. It'll get you every time. Real spill. And now when the system gets them, some end up missing a never found. When the system gets you, you got to make up in your mind. A lot of people find Jesus up in there. That's all they got to do is sit up and read about him. Something they never did before, and they come out better people. A lot of people go up in there and they get with other criminal-minded people who ain't gonna never change, and they come out worse and they go right back. Because they learn some new stuff that they didn't know out there on the streets. It's sad when you got more prison systems than you got schools. Or your tax money is going to take care of the feeding of them, the clothing, the medical, everything. They're on us. But then they got the nerves to be complaining about something. You knew when you did that what it was going to turn out to be. But you took that chance. Now you got the nerves to complain. Uh-uh. We have that same kind of apartment of living being built in my hometown right now. Are you speaking of this one or the one Sting was talking about with the washer and dryer? B? Because I think this is, I'm not sure. I need to do a little research before I say that. But I think this one is in Florida, Texas, and some other state. The people who own these. But they're all different. Because I've seen the ones in, and they have several of them here. They have another community in Pearland, and it's totally different. It's a senior citizen one in Pearland. It's totally made different from these. And amenities are different. It's more geared to seniors. This one is anybody, any age. Yeah. And they have a lots more activities going on in that senior living one. They do more stuff with the seniors over there. Every day it's activities for them to go to, or they taking them downtown Houston to a concert, or they might be taking them to the zoo or to the park or wherever, out to eat at a nice restaurant some nights, that kind of stuff. Um, let's see. The one I'm living in, okay. Yeah, I think they're popping up in more states now. But this one is, like I say, way more different than the one in Pearland, because when I went over there to look at that one, I was like, they got a lots going on. I just wasn't ready for senior living because it's all older people in there. And I knew how my mind works. If I went in there with old people, I'd be laid back doing just what they doing. I'm not ready to do that yet. I got a lot of energy and a lot of activities and things I want to do. And no. And it's much more expensive than this one. And this one is pretty high. Yeah, you paying about $700 more to live over there per month, because of all the things that they have for you to do and the places they are taking you. That's all included. My daughter lives in one in Raleigh. So Raleigh, Durham is North Carolina. I used to work in that airport, Raleigh, Durham. I'm talking about CPS. Okay, Jules, you got me? Okay. Manifest say also in South Florida, very nice places. They are. They are very nice. And this one, I think, just needs to get better management. When I first moved in, of course, the management has already changed. And the lady that they have here now, either she needs to go or they'll never get full. She doesn't have the right personality to deal with the people. She doesn't know how to talk to the people. She acts as if this is hers, that she owns it. No, you're working for these people, okay? That's what you're doing. And you need to learn how to talk to people. She wrote me a little note, an email saying that cars are not supposed to be parked down at the front door. You didn't bother to check with anybody that I had come in and told them that the car had been wrecked and I had to park it down here because they couldn't come up in the garage and get it. So it would be there until the tow truck came to pick it up and the lady okayed it. Then you write me an email telling me, I already know that. But see, you wrote it unprofessionally and you wrote it wrong. All right? I'm going to let you make it on that one. That's the second strike. You got one more. And then we're going to have a conversation. Because I'm not going to pay this kind of money and you talk to me any kind of way. It ain't happening. I will call corporate on you with no problems. Yeah, okay. Y'all brought her in. This is what she doing. That's why people leaving. Okay? She don't know how to talk to folks. She don't know how to negotiate things. All she had to do was call or email me and ask me why was my car down there, and I would have told her. I was in a handicap on top of that because the tow truck could drive straight in and hook up the car. Any other space, they couldn't have done it. If you had asked me, I would have told you. I'm going to make you understand who I am. I'm not to be talked to any kind of way, and you're not going to come in here and tell me how to live. That ain't happening. And I ain't fixing to move. So what's going to happen from there? You figure it out, because I already figured it out. That's the way I look at it. Okay, one bedroom starting at $1,200. That's cheap, B. One bedroom here starts at 15. Mm-hmm. Yep. But anyway, y'all, been out here for an hour and 11 minutes. And hopefully the young lady who we've talked to about inspiring other people, that we have gotten out what inspiring is and motivation is. And I want y'all to think about who inspires you, or who inspired you to be the person you are. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, my mother was my inspiration, because for 12 years it was just me and her. I watched a woman who had a high school degree have all of her children go back to college, finish, go back to the local university, Northeast Louisiana University, in the small city we came from, in her 50s, and get a master's degree. I watched her integrate schools, because she was a veteran teacher when the schools started integrating in the 70s. And they put the veteran teachers out there in those schools to integrate them. I watched them move her 3 or 4 times in those 38 years she was in the classroom. She was with the babies. She started off in the 1st grade. That's where she started. As she aged, she moved up a little further to the 5th grade. And when she left, she was teaching 6th grade. And she told them if they moved her again, they could move her home. She got out right as the system was changing. She couldn't handle the system as it is today, where the kids are running the classroom, the kids don't come to school and all of that. I mean, she had a rough time down in the projects, because that was the last school they put her at. Again, they moved the veteran teachers to deal with the project people. You had mothers coming over there with house slippers on and pink rollers after the principal and the teacher. She never had a problem with them, because she talked to them at first, and she'd tell them, first of all, you should have made an appointment to come over here and see me. You're stopping me from teaching your child. I can come early in the morning. You can catch me at lunch, or you can catch me in the evening. That's the first thing she got straight with them. She let them know who was running the classroom. Your child is in my room. I'm the teacher. You're sending them to me. When the parent left from over there, they ain't come back no more. You got to get people to understand what you all about and who you are. Then they leave you alone. They some kind of stupid because you already told them, look, I ain't taking no more of this. Now I done told you. Go on about your business. That's what you got to do. Good night, everyone. For me, John 3:16. You got it, Tajisti. I've enjoyed. Thank you. You are welcome. Good evening, Ms.V. and Chad. Hope everyone is staying warm. It's cold as heck here in Illinois. It's not that cold here. It warms up good in the middle of the day, and it gets a little cool at night, but it's not cold. I've been in that East Coast Baltimore area where it gets freezing this time of year, but it's not anything like that. Or living over there in Vancouver and Denver, it gets freezing cold, but nothing like that here. We can endure with a sweatshirt on, or a down jacket. You're going to be layering clothes because you're going to take them off throughout the day. But it's been fun, y'all. I've enjoyed talking to each and every one of y'all. I hope I haven't missed anybody. You're welcome, Sherry. Good night, B. And to everyone who came into the chat, thank y'all for hitting that like button. I really appreciate it. And we'll see each other tomorrow if the good Lord says the same. Y'all have a blessed and peaceful night.